you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, my name is Brian Barcelona. I have been leading One Voice Student Missions for 14 years, and I'm a graduate of faith.
Hi, I'm Marcela Barcelona. I'm wife to Brian Barcelona, and we have 4 kids, and I'm a mom of 4, and that's honestly the best thing in life. But I'm also a graduate from Faith University.
I'm Jeff Mathis. I've been serving with YWAM in Kona for the last 8 years. Helped serve a youth movement called Commission Youth, and have been part of Fire and Fragrance ministry within YWAM for the last 8 years, serving in a variety of different roles, bringing leadership to our schools, church partnerships, and relationships. And I also graduated Faith, got my bachelor's degree, and got my master's in theological studies with a focus on the New Testament.
Faith has been incredible. I work with little ones, and there's just things that I feel like now, having language, having books that I've how to read that are requirements. I have language to even break it down to where 5-year-olds can understand. So faith has been just such a blessing for me personally. And then the fact that I can do it online, on the go, because we're missionaries.
The statistics around Gen Z are fascinating. You look at 70% of Gen Z feels morally obligated to change the world. 52% of young Christians, a Barna research study, 52% of young Christians see missions as a viable option for their future. We look at Gen Z, this being one of the most activist, justice-driven generations in history. I translate as the most missional generation in history. And I think if we could capture that energy, wrap a biblical worldview around it, we could reach the world.
I've never seen a generation under attack like I've seen Gen Z. Just the amount of suicide, the whole gender identity thing, I've never seen such confusion. So why not give them truth? Why not set them free to set others free? Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats forever. Faith is it. Faith can totally feed a whole generation for a lifetime because they're teaching them how to fish.
When you look over the last decades, you can see that the internet, apps, social media has become a prevalent tool in today's culture. And what I think we really seen over the last 3 years was that this tool was being used like never before for the gospel. From TikTok to Instagram to all types of YouTube, people were realizing that the modern day pulpits have become phones. And our ability to reach people is not limited to once a week for an hour anymore. We have the ability now to share the gospel on a continuous basis with many people all over the world.
If we read the Bible, we see that war came in a time where there was going to be deliverers that were going to be raised with Moses. Even with Jesus, there was a war against the children. There was a war against men, even women. In the time of Deborah, there was a real war that was happening against people and the children of God. We're in a very similar moment now when we're looking at a cultural war that's coming against our children, whether it be with the LGBTQ, abortion. Taking the Bible out of our culture is, I think, the greatest war that we're coming up against.
You have a generation where truth is changing like trends. It's like every 20 seconds there's a new TikTok video, there's a new crave on believe this about yourself. Truth is relative. The only thing that really points to a consistent truth is the Word of God. And I think a generation is hungry. They're getting whiplash from trends. And a generation is longing for truth. They're longing for true north. Where do I go? We need something that transcends our human experience, which is God. It's His written word. It's the Bible. It's having a biblical worldview. It is so important if you're going to know how to navigate this cultural moment. It can't be TikTok. It can't be trends. It has to be God Himself who's given us His written word.
So as we turn to Gen Z, we're believing, just like Malachi 4, we're turning as fathers and mothers, and we're becoming responsible of a generation that doesn't know Him. So our greatest really role is to have Gen Z come to know the truth of who Jesus is.
Faith International University, in my opinion, is one of the greatest universities on the planet. There is a strong emphasis on doing the work of the ministry, not just learning about ministry.
For me, it's been such a joy because I'm receiving the Word of God. And so when I come to my children, I can actually give them revelation, not just information, but revelation of what I'm receiving, and they get to partake. One of my favorite classes was Old Testament, and see this God that's generational and is covenant founded. Like, he wants covenant, he wants generations. I think that it's important generationally for mothers to rise up on the scene and begin to teach their children, because their children are going to teach their children. And that's our responsibility as parents, to instruct our children in his ways.
Our goal and our aim is to reach a generation with a biblical literacy rate of 4%. And faith has not only given me the answers, but given me the tools on how to walk a young person to get to a theological end goal. How do I get a student from who thinks that they can be one thing and the next thing do another thing, and can actually lead them through an inductive method, how to understand a commentary, and how to approach the word on a day in, day out lifestyle. So I think faith has more given me tools than answers, and I think we have a generation who wants tools more than they want answers.
I personally, I'm now in my mid-30s, never thought I would be able to go back to school because didn't have the money and didn't have the time, but faith has made it to where there's discounts. It's totally affordable. So grateful for people who have given to faith, who've sown into faith. That makes it a possibility for me to be able to afford it. Honestly, with an education, with a bachelor's degree, at the bare minimum, because I would like to continue, it opens doors to be able to go into other nations. There's literally nations that won't let you in if you don't have a degree. And so to have that weight lifted of like, dang, I actually have that possibility opened up now, and I can't afford it, it's not going to throw me into more debt because of people who've been so generous blessing faith, so faith can bless us. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's pressure off my shoulders, and I'm just so grateful. And then just faith's flexibility of being able to do it while we're on the go. Like, I don't have to quit missions. I don't have to take a break from doing what I know the Lord's called me to do, to continue to move forward in my education, to continue to be able to go and gain, more territory for the Lord.
We have stood by faith over the years and will continue to as they stand by the Word of God as a university that really holds true to the Bible. And in today's culture, where so many people are straying from that, we have to cling to communities and cultures that are standing truly solely for the Word, and that is faith.
Gen Z is incredible, and they are the future leaders of today, and we would be missing it entirely if we didn't see the value of pouring into them.